Good morning. Welcome to your daily read. It's October 12th. Very happy to have you here. I was just doing the pre-shuffle for our general read. Please do be aware because these are general. I can see the kitty cat hiding behind the curtain in the background. What's she up to? Oh my goodness gracious, there's so many things coming out right now. Yeah, so so many cards just came out while I was trying to do my little spiel. Essentially, these are readings for the collective, so they are very, very general. Please take it with a grain of salt. Take what you can, leave the rest. If it resonates, that's great. Give it a like. Please do subscribe to the channel. I would very much appreciate it. But do know that it's general, so if you're looking for more precise information, I do suggest looking for your zodiac sign. I've put up the monthly, sorry you're late. And you can also reach out for private readings to me or any other reader on YouTube. We're more than happy to do that for you. So we've got some very interesting cards that just came out for our daily. So as I was shuffling, we got, let me just get these in order here. So we got the death card. Something is definitely coming to an end. There is a cycle and a new beginning. I actually get very excited when I see things like the death card and the tower card, not because I'm like, a negative Nelly, but those cards to me really symbolize essentially the crumbling of something that wasn't serving us. So it is a really clear indication that it's time to move on. And I actually really love how calm the skeleton in the knight's armor there on the white horse is as he trudges along the beach, and there's all this chaos. The king has been trampled, the pope is praying, the children look fine, they're just sort of holding flowers and they have their crowns on and they're just staring at the figure on the horse going like, what is happening? And then the one over here is like, ugh, whatever. But we can see the two towers actually from the moon card behind, and the sun in the valley, which is actually what we see on the temperance card as well. All of the cards are connected. It's kind of like a journey, sort of like the spiritual journey that we're on. So death card, completion, cycles coming to an end, getting rid of things that do not serve us. And this is so appropriate as we are getting very, very close. I don't know if it's tonight or tomorrow night, the Scorpio full moon. Now, I was really, really affected by the Piscean full moon. It was very intense energy. This is also, so Pisces energy has obviously a watery kind of energy to it, and it was very much about emotions. It was sort of like this peak of emotions that came to a head, and then there was some release. Now, what's interesting about the Scorpio full moon is that Scorpio is also watery energy, but there's a bit of a different tone to it. It's got a sharpness, a little bit jagged around the edges, and I get the sense that that's almost, I don't want to say angry energy, but you know how sometimes you can sort of, it's hard to get motivated out of sadness into something else, but if you're a little bit frustrated, you're like, whatever, this needs to die, it's done, this cycle is over and finished, there's a little bit of a sharpness to it. It tends to be a bit more of a motivating factor, and I think that's been hard for us because we do have our Seven of Pentacles energy, really, really waiting for our ships to come in with whatever the situation is, some frustration. It's funny because there's Seven Pentacles here after the hard work that, the farmer has done in planting the seeds and tending to the fields. This individual doesn't look that satisfied. So even though things are fruitful, there's a sense of dissatisfaction and impatience. And I think that's coming from a really, really strong desire to embody the Empress energy. Really, really wanting to be the Beyonce of the tarot, wanting to be, I don't know if we swap the gender around, who is the Empress energy for the opposite gender? I don't know. I'm not quite sure who your role model is, but anyways, it's that. Well, maybe it's Jay-Z. But all that aside, it's the impatience and frustration of not yet necessarily embodying this, and I think you can't have it until you let the cycle die. So whatever is being hung on to, you know, if you really, really want to move forward, you have to let the thing go. And I think that full moons are a really, really amazing time to do that. They are an opportunity for emotional release and spiritual release. So something to consider. What's really amazing is that, so we have our Empress, and she's holding a staff right here, and she's luscious. She's not just feminine energy or divine feminine energy, but she's got 12 stars up at the top of her crown here, which represent the astrological signs. She embodies kind of like a completeness, 3, the trifecta energy, which is very, very balanced. It's hard to knock over, you know, a bench that has 3 legs in a triangle. That stool's not falling over. She represents bringing the wateriness, so you see the waterfall, the wateriness of the shadow realm, the high priestess, which is the 2 energy. She comes before the Empress, bringing it into the 3D reality, grounding it into earth energy. The wheat is ripe and ready for harvest. There's a lush forest. She represents fertility. Basically, she's a boss lady, and she knows it, and she's grounded. And this is something that you can really, I don't like the term fake it till you make it, but certainly trying to change your vibration, trying and changing your thoughts, really, really shifting, maybe using some of that sharpness of the scorpionic energy to end the cycle and be like, screw it, I'm done, I'm moving. You know, I'm bringing the end of this cycle. I'm bringing the end of this waiting and stepping into my Empress power even before you really feel like it. Turn on some music that makes you feel like a boss. Do it. Dance around. Go for a run. Pump some iron at the gym. Whatever it is you need to do to really release. It might be a release in a very active way, different from the release of the Piscean full moon, which is very emotional, very, very shadowy. You know, we're always blabbing on about shadow work on this channel. So we have the Ace of Wands, and the Ace of Wands is fire energy. It's the creative spark. It's fertile. It's like ready to go. It's divinely guided, and it also has a lushness. And I always think it's really interesting because the Ace of Wands is busting out of this gray sky, and I'm always paying attention to the colors in the cards. So it's really interesting to see that there's a gray background even all the way up to the 7 of Pentacles, because that person's not feeling satisfied, they're feeling impatient. So this divinely guided, fiery creative spark busts through that, and I think that this has a lot to do with mood. I see the background colors as mood and mindset, lack of clarity, you know, cloud cover, overcast. That could be how people have been feeling, and it's like it can be busted through with the creative energy and creative spark. And I get the sense that that's something that is really going to come through when you start to embody the Empress energy, but it's like embodying it before you feel ready. There's a lot of gray here. It's gray in the Death card as well. And it's taking over most of the sky, and yet the brilliant sun is poking out there. So it's like as if in order to make the shift from the gray and the heaviness and feeling stuck, the stagnation, the impatience, you know, you need the sunshine to have these grow even bigger into what it is that you want. So shifting out of that feeling of negativity and just making a conscious effort to go, okay, I acknowledge that I don't feel so great, but if I want to change it, it starts with me. It starts with me. So shifting into the Empress energy mindset, doing what you can to get there first before it feels natural and like it's coming on its own. There's a conscious shift here, and that's when something comes through. You know, you really channel the creative idea. Something about the stuckness is going to get unstuck and move once you start to embody that, and that's when you get to move along. That's when you get to move along. This is, you know, to me, this is the Scorpio full moon. This is recognizing that, you know, there's 8 cups here and they're full. You haven't been knocked over. You've done the work. You've come really, really far, and we're recognizing that. But it's going, I'm moving on. I've been in the emotional development phase for a really long time, and it's time to move along. Walk away from something. It's time to move. and it's time to move into a more fiery energy. Now, here's something that's interesting. We have the King of Wands. Now, that walking away with the Eight of Cups could be walking away from, a King of Wands. So the King of Wands, again, fire energy, and it represents someone who could be a very good leader, very fiery, very sexual, very stimulating and intelligent. That is something that you could be moving away from, but I get the sense that this is more like stepping into that energy. As you walk away from the cycle that's come to an end, the King of Wands is in fact an energy that you're going to embody, but these are very general. We're not working with a specific question, so take it as it resonates. The King of Wands is someone who is very, very determined, you know. Is he staring at the stick, the wand, or is he staring out beyond at what is possible and the potential? These are good questions to ask. What's interesting to me is that every single character in this reading has a staff. There's a staff with a flag on it. There is the staff of the rake or the hoe that the farmer has. She's got a wand or a staff here. Wand came out next. A walking stick. And then the king has the wand. So it's interesting to me because I seem to see this link. You may not perceive yourself to be very fiery in this moment. You may be having that feeling of stuckness and impatience, but what is being alluded to here in the images is that there's a fiery streak in you and you're not acknowledging that. There's a spark. There actually is a divine spark, a creative streak inside of you, and I get the sense that it's just something that there's been this low-level awareness, and there's also been a denial for a really long time of one's capability, of one's faith that things could work out, and I'm talking about to a level that, you know, you've hardly been able to even imagine it before because it didn't seem resonant with your self-concept, but that's shifting. There's a big shift that happens when you move from, you know, the ending of a cycle with the Death card. You know, that's a very intense ending. That is an empowered ending saying, this must die. I have to move into something else. And I'm fed up and I'm feeling impatient and it's time to go. It's time to go. And then into the Empress. She's the Queen of Queens. You know, we've got the queens of the different suits, the different elements. We don't see them here. We've got the King of Fire. But this is like, there's a wand in every single card. And the wands represent fire energy and creativity. But they can be all these different things. They can be a weapon. They can be a walking stick. They can be a wand, which conjures things. Magic. It can be your staff. And when you're sitting in a throne, like the King of Wands. Leadership. These are all possibilities. So those are things to keep in mind. This is a very, very strong message about recognizing your inner fire. I used to listen to a band when I was in high school. It was called The Fire Inside, and I really, really liked it. I was totally in love with the lead singer. His name was Davey Havok. And I always really loved the name because The Fire Inside reminds me that, you know, even if you feel down, there's always a divine spark inside of you. It animates you. It animates all of us. It's the thing that we have in common, and it never goes out. All you have to do is recognize your responsibility, you know, to fan the flames, right? So I'm going to do an oracle card, and then we will be done with our daily read. I'm gravitating. Ooh, my mind is confused. 2 different decks. Okay, we're going to do one from each, but we'll do it quickly. This is my teeny tiny Wisdom of the Oracle deck. Unfortunately, it was a knockoff. I'm really I'm hoping to get a new one. That is the real version. But new life. Yeah, waking up from the dream and recognizing that you can actually live that dream and bring it into reality. This is fresh. It's bright. You know, it's funny because there's no red in the card, and yet I get that feeling of fire. I think it's just like busting through. She's stretching, but she's also just like, yes, yes, new life. Oh my goodness gracious. Moving on. You know, that's the energy of it. But you can't have the new life without letting something die, right? That's sort of the karmic business about it. Something has to die if something new is going to come in. If you want to go down the woo-woo karmic route, which of course we do. So I'm going to do the Wisdom of Avalon really quickly, see if there's anything else that we need to know. Do we need to know? Collective for October 12th. Ooh, that is too many. You're not taking 10, I'm sorry. There it goes. The cow, nourishment, abundance, asking and receiving. The cow. So, the cow, this really is, it's super duper resonant because, okay, I'm a Taurus. So it's Taurian energy, the bull, the cow. This is also Taurus energy. You don't have to be a Taurus, that's not my point. The point is that Taurian energy is really, it's got a royalness to it. It's about being soft and strong at the same time. It's about embodiment. I always default to Beyonce because she's just my, she is the Empress energy. Very, very much so, in my opinion, but you can choose whoever you want. Maybe you're a Mariah person. Maybe you're, I don't know who's popular these days, Ariana Grande, that kind of thing. The point is, it's really embodying that royal, regal energy, and this is just a reminder. That's what you need to be aiming for if you want to move forward. If you want to really step into emotional maturity, I think that's a big lesson here with the 8 of Cups. This is not crying over spilt milk in the way that the 5 of Cups is. This is like, I've done the work. I am keeping these lessons intact. I'm not knocking the cups over. I'm just leaving them here for a little while I continue to dive even deeper, journeying on and moving into a completely new conceptualization of myself. Nourishment, abundance, asking and receiving. Remember to ask for assistance and help if you need it. Make sure to nourish yourself, because at this point, if something very big is coming to an end, which it is with the Death card, you do need to nourish yourself. You do need to give yourself some love. You do need to let go of impatience with the process. It's a process. The Empress doesn't become the Empress overnight. It doesn't work like that. So nourish yourself. Be kind. Sometimes we can be stubborn like a bull. We need to be gentle like the energy of the cow. I love cows. Cows have best friends. Did you know that? They buddy up and they have friends, and they're so sweet. There's videos all over the internet of cows who like to listen to music when people play them music. They're swinging their tails. It's just the sweetest thing. They're very intelligent, I think, but very shy. Yeah, abundance, that's also a part of it. We do have the Pentacle energy, but not a lot of it. It's 7. It involves patience. You're not there yet. It's coming. Don't worry. Anyways, that is the daily read for the collective. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again soon.